Welcome, welcome. Episode 55 of One by One is up in this motherfucker. Sorry, excuse my French. How you doing? It's Michael. I'm just sitting here. I got off of a Skype phone call with a very cool motherfucker, and you'll hear that in a minute. You'll hear that in a minute. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? I have a little box of Entenmanns milk chocolate chip cookies. They're soft. Eating to the microphone. You know how comfortable I am to be eating in front of you? Especially something so delicious and not nutritious. Let's see. Serving size. 3 cookies. 3 of these little fucking things. They give you fucking 50 of them in here. And for every 3 cookies, there are 11 grams of sugars. Holy shit. So I just ate like fucking a shitload of grams of sugars. Anyway. How are you? Welcome. Today's Monday. Tuesday that you're hearing this. Tonight is open mic night at Rax and Atco. If you're in South Jersey and not fucking doing shit, I'm gonna stop putting my leg on the table right there. Yeah, it's annoying. Come hang out with us, man. For real. Me and Bob Holing put on an open mic. We have a house band with Dave and John and Mark, and we have some fun, man. Play a fucking song. I'm gonna start an open mic that's a comedy open mic. Eventually. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe seeing if they want to do the opposite Tuesday comedy. But then that would be every other week. And I don't know how that works. Like, I feel like a comedy open mic should be at least once a week. At least. But anyway, we do a music open mic. And you can come up there and do some comedy if you want to. I'm not going to fucking stop you. But after talking with Jessica Wellington and a couple other people, Nikki Fuchs, I have come to the conclusion that these things need to be done solely as a comedy open mic and solely as a fucking music one. And I get it. There's a rhythm, especially with the comedians, that it's not really there for the music part, because music, you just fucking, a band stops playing, you turn on some house music, or in our case at Rax, we have music and TV blaring in the background, and you just have that on while the bands are playing too. But whatever, we're fucking a little louder than that when we're actually playing. But it's fun, man, and you get to come hang out with us. It's in Atco, New Jersey. Come on, it's on the White Horse Pike. Off of Route 73. If you can't find it, you're whacked. Fucking whacked. But anyway, Bob Bowling Audio, Rax Adco, one by one. Make that shit happen. But anyway, sometimes I get pissed off at when people say shit over and over again, and I just got pissed off at myself for saying anyway a couple times in a row. So I just want you to be aware of that. Be aware that I'm aware that I'm annoying. But anyway, it was a fun Monday so far. I listened to George Perez on the church and made that little poster. Felicia messaged me for Liars Club today, the Breakfast Club episode 20 poster, 8 days until Joey Diaz and the Degenerates on Netflix. Fuck yeah. Made that poster, the Beatles, 8 days a week. Yesterday I made a 9 Inch Nails one. I don't know, a lot of people might not have understood that one, but welcome. And then, what else? What else I do? Oh yeah, I made the poster for the open mic, the comedy open mic that we're, or the the music open mic that me and Bob are doing. And I have a couple that I have to finish up for Adam Ray. But other than that, this is this and that's that. Tomorrow night too. Fuck. Tonight. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, tonight, fucking set your goddamn DVRs or watch it. The Guest Book on TBS. Uncle Joey's gonna be on there too. The fuck is wrong with you if you're not watching that shit? Oh, that's the other thing I need to do tonight besides Adam Ray. Joey Diaz and George Perez. Cleveland Hilarities this weekend. Man, I'm just so busy. I try to schedule shit out, but like I was telling my guests today, I fucking, half the shit that I do, it's not just a tour poster. It's a poster that has something to do with your podcast, with the church, or Prince and the Wolf, or the Liars Club. About last night for a while there. So it just takes a while, and I can't put shit out like right away or have it prepared beforehand, which would be fucking awesome. But I need to get on a little bit of a better schedule. Let my girlfriend know that I'm a little busy on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It's like the beginning of the podcast week. Another thing that I need to do is hit Rogan back up, because I just went through my DMs with him for no apparent motherfucking reason. Just to see all the stupid fucking shit that I might have like DM'd him for some I don't know. And there was a couple things that was like, maybe I shouldn't have asked that. Or maybe I should have said that, or whatever. Whatever. I'm just a fucking dude. But my intentions are good. So, in June of 2017, last year, right after the baby was born, right before the baby was born, I have the message. I asked him, I was like, dude, thank you so much for helping me do everything. I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing right now if it wasn't for you guys, whatever. I was like, if you wanted me to do a podcast poster for each episode like I do with the church, that would be awesome, because I'm listening to them constantly anyway, and I get ideas as I'm listening to them. And he said, sure, we could do that. But then I made a couple, and then the baby was born, and then I just kind of just like slipped my mind. I don't know what the fuck. So I think I'm going to ask him about that again. Because that would be very fucking cool. I love it. I love doing this shit. To me, it is. I mean, it is artwork. It's a little different because some of it's like using other pictures and other pieces of art in order to make it. But I still feel like the outcome is original, And it's cool because it's like a conversation or an idea that somebody had, and it's a visual of it. And it really does. I feel like it helps promote that shit, and that's what people are fucking doing now, A lot of podcasts are putting out fucking graphics up that have something to do with what they talked about on the podcast. And not that Rogan needs to do that at all, but he was, besides Diaz, they were my two biggest inspirations. So, I mean, if I could do that for him, That'd be sweet. I feel like a fucking idiot talking about it right now. But anyway, that's what I need to do. I need to fucking make time for that. Somehow. I need to invent a time machine so that I can go do work, come back, do regular life, go back in time and do work and come back. And I don't know. I feel like maybe that would help me get shit done. Fuck yeah, flux capacitor. Anyway, are you into hiking? Because I'm not yet, but I feel like I'm gonna be very soon. My ankles still feel swelled up from when they fucking... I did like this 5K walk. It wasn't even a run. And 1 year, my shit just got inflamed. I don't know what the hell happened, but both my ankles got swelled up and I couldn't walk great for a while. And I don't know. But I want to get back into fucking being healthy and working out a little bit. Maybe get some fucking on it shit so I can take... I should have been taking some fucking Alpha Brain since I started this podcast. Maybe that would help my ratings. Anyway, I don't know about you, but I do want to get into that shit. I want to start being healthy. But the thing is, I need time. And time is something that we kind of made up, but whatever. It's there. You need to deal with it. But the things that you need to do for yourself in order to make yourself feel better. Hiking is one of them. And what better place than Moab? Moab. Yeah, you heard right. Utah. It's fucking gorgeous there. Moab, spelled backwards, is Baum. They filmed Westworld there. Seriously. It has to be good. I mean, if they're going to film a show about robots, and they picked that place because they were walking around one day and they were like, yo, this is a great place to hike. We should film a fucking robot show here. And then it happened. It's over. It's done. Micah was one of the original people that said, hey, HBO, come here. Come hither. Check out this areola. You'll see. I'm going to make Periscope videos soon. And you will want to be here and film your show. That's what it's all about. No, but seriously, Micah Hatcher, the owner and the hike taker with her, will take you on a hike. He told me I can get really weird with these. So that's the only reason that I'm being awkward and weird. I'm not just really awkward and weird. I promise. Code word 1 by 1. And you get that discount. Okay? Go out there. If you're feeling like taking the fucking trip, just fucking do it. You got the fucking money. You got the fucking time. Stop fucking around. I did it for a long time. I still do it. And, you know, once I had the money and the time, I'm going to do shit. There. Go to moabhiking.com for all your Moab hiking needs. Today, this morning, on the podcast, I can't believe I've been talking for 15 minutes already. When I first started doing this shit, I was scared to even do 2 minutes. Now, I'm just so used to hearing my stupid voice. It's weird. Anyway. My guest today is a very fucking cool dude. I came to know him through Instagram, like a lot of the motherfuckers that I've come to know. And he started his own podcast. He's out there supporting dudes that are doing some cool shit. And honestly, I felt like I just wanted to talk to this dude because he seemed like I listened to his podcast after I saw a couple posts that he had on Instagram, and he's just a real dude, and he knows what he's doing with his podcast is, like he said, it is the goal, and that is what is making him happy. And that is something that everyone needs to fucking find in life, is something that makes them happy. Me, myself included. And I do, and I have, but, you know, as you grow, you evolve, and you need different things, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about with that. But this guy just inspired me, because I remember when I started doing this podcast, and I wanted to talk to certain people, and I didn't know if I could even, like, ask them, and I was like, fuck it, man, let's do it. Let's try. And he's fucking doing that, and I appreciate that, and he's supporting some people that I admire and, you know, that I call friends, so I want to help him out in any way that I can, and I just thought it would be cool to have dude on and fucking get a little bit of his side of the coin, if you will. He's from Jersey as well, but he lives on a mountain. So, I mean, he's on the same side of this fucking big rock as me, called the United States, but he's a little higher than me. Even though I'm lower in altitude, I'm higher than he is, because I smoke some reefer sometimes, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. But we went into everything that he has been getting into on his podcast. He recently had a couple people that do some of the stuff that I do, like Photoshop Steve was on. He had Nathan, who's Drawn from the Mind. McDo Joe, Leif, Rob. Just people that are out there fucking hustling and, you know, doing the things that make them happy. And that's all it is. That's all it's about. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you go listen to his podcast and support this motherfucker, because he supports all of us. And that's what it's all about. It's a little group, family, love, you know what I'm saying? There's actually a group on Instagram. We talk about it a little bit in this episode. But it's a bunch of us on there, and I feel like he should be in there, even though he's not. Like, I don't know why, but he's talked to a couple of us, and he likes what we're doing and is supporting us, and it's really fucking cool to have that. Because I remember a time when, you know, nobody really gave a shit what the fuck I did. Not that they do now, but, like, I can remember when absolutely no one did. You know what I mean? It's humbling. And he's just a really cool fucking guy, and I really do see him going somewhere with it, because he's got that personality, and can't wait to meet him one day. I'm sure we will meet. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy, from where I belong, to David Corbo.
Yo, can you hear me good?
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
What's going on, dude?
Nothing much. Another beautiful night in paradise. What about you?
I can't complain, man. Jesus.
There you go. There you go.
This is paradise over in Jersey, isn't it, man?
Dude, tell me how winter came the fuck out of nowhere.
It's been every year. I feel like it's been getting like we don't have a fall or a fucking spring anymore. You know?
No, there's no transitions. Last winter was like real mild, and we started coming out of it pretty quick. And I told myself, I was like, you know what that fucking means? This bitch is gonna be back quick. And sure enough, man, as soon as September hit, we were feeling it, and now it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Just miserable, just miserable. One of these days, man, moving out to LA and getting away from this shit.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool if that happened.
Even if it's just for the weather, man. Even if it's just for the weather.
Seriously, I lived in Florida for like 4 years when I was like younger, like 4th to like 7th grade, and it's like even though down in Florida they tell you that it's like fucking humid, it rains like once a day, but they have the palm trees like fucking California. It's like a different.
It's beautiful.
Atmosphere.
It's another planet. It's a whole nother planet over there.
Yeah, I agree. You ever lived anywhere besides Jersey?
Dude, not at all. I was born and raised here. I grew up in Elizabeth, and then I kind of lived in Woodbridge, Edison area, and then recently I moved to the top of a fucking mountain. And so, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, you got good reception, I hope. Closer to the fucking satellites.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I live on a mountain it's such an actual mountain. There's no fucking Verizon towers or like Xfinity or anything like that. I have some obscure internet service that every time I do a podcast, I pray to God. My wife's mad because every time I do a podcast, I'm like, turn off everything that has Wi-Fi. Nothing can be on in the house that has Wi-Fi.
Dude, I haven't gone to that level yet, but like I just have the one internet, the router upstairs in the den, and then I'm in my basement right now. So like, but I do turn off the Wi-Fi on my computer, and I turn off the Wi-Fi or because I do all these through my phone, not just through like my laptop. So like,
yeah,
I have to put it on airplane mode on my phone so that there's no like outside regular phone connection coming in.
That's the same thing. I recently I was like, dude, I gotta get on YouTube. It's gotta happen because it's like if you look at the market that you're missing from not being on YouTube, it's like a given. I'm like, I gotta get there, but I do everything off my iPhone too. So I have like a auxiliary microphone that I plug into my iPhone, and I put the iPhone on airplane mode, and that's how I swing it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I was wondering what you were doing with the like how you got because I listened to a couple of them, and it sounded almost like you were like talking to them straight through the laptop. Are they coming like into it? You're recording like them as a separate track? Or
so this is how crazy it was. It was like I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing done, and I remember my first guest was like my cousin, right? So I'm like, how the fuck do I do this, dude? How do I get him? I can't use him on the phone because the phone's on airplane mode, and I can't have any interruptions that'll screw the podcast up, so that's out of the question. So I'm like, okay, I still got a house phone. So I'm like, maybe I can swing the speaker phone on the house phone. Nope, sounds atrocious. So I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So eventually I remember like, oh, my buddy gave me some Bluetooth speakers, but they also have an auxiliary cable for the laptop. So I'm like, okay, what if I call them off the laptop? Well, the laptop speakers suck. What if I plug the Bluetooth speakers into the laptop and use my phone while it's on airplane mode to click? It just became this whole nonsense thing, but that's pretty much how I do it. So I'll put my phone, I'll hook up my mic and everything, and then I'll go sit in, I call it the studio. It's a fucking room with a curtain.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
Yeah, there's a curtain that separates it from the living room. So I'll go sit in there and I'll have their voice pump out of Skype on the laptop on the Bluetooth speakers. So it's a shit show. But
no, dude, you got to do what you got to fucking do, man.
Absolutely.
When I started, and I still do it basically the same way that when I started. I have the laptop, the MacBook, and then GarageBand, and then my friend that I did a couple episodes with in the beginning, Frank Morley. He let me borrow this audio box USB fucking what the hell are they called? I'm fucking drawing a blank now, but it goes from the laptop to there, and then two microphones can go into that,
Oh,
So
like a mixer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I have one, and then I assign one track to my mic, and then one track to the thing that's coming out of my phone. And then I have a mic cable that is a mic cable on one side, and on the other side, it's like a guitar cable. So I put an adapter onto that to make it the size of a regular headphone jack. But now that iPhone has no regular headphone jack, I had to fucking get the adapter from my car
Oh my
and put
god.
that on top of that. So it's like 3 different adapters going
Yeah,
into my phone to talk to you. But it
I don't
sounds
know
good.
what it is. It does sound good, but I'm like, I don't understand. Like, for the longest time, I wanted to have a podcast. I launched an old one back in the day with me and my wife, and it just became too difficult to try to get both of our schedules synced up.
Yeah.
And but even that was like a fucking nightmare to try and do, and it's surprisingly difficult. You hear
And when
Rogan,
that's when you were in the same room with each other.
yeah, exactly. Like, Rogan says shit like, oh, if as long as you got an iPhone and a voice memo thing, like, there you go. And that's what finally made me go, you know what? Fucking just do that. So the first 2 or 3 episodes, they're just recorded on voice memo until someone gifted me an auxiliary mic, that I could plug into the phone. But
Yeah.
whatever the hell, it was a quote that I read somewhere that's like, it's better to put out garbage than to put out nothing at all. So I'm like, yeah, don't worry about the quality. Don't worry. Just start fucking doing things. That's really the key, I think.
Yeah, man. That's what you got. But you got to pay attention to not so much the quality of the sound though, especially when you're starting, but as to more like the content that you're talking about.
Yeah,
and you did it off right. You did it good because you started off like talking about yourself and giving your background and shit like that, and that's how you should start it if you're like a regular dude like me, just fucking I didn't fucking know what the fuck to do. I had fucking zero knowledge of what the fuck I wanted to say, like I just know I wanted to fucking do something that wasn't the same old boring shit that I've been doing,
I've listened to a lot of podcasts, like, because I feel like podcasting is, if you're gonna do it right, if I'm gonna, because I have nothing to offer except podcasting, right? It's not like you have musical talent plus you have the Photoshop skills. I'm just talking shit. I have absolutely nothing else. So I'm like, I got to make podcasting like my job. In other words, I have to listen to other people who are also podcasters, who are like my peers, people that are on my level, people that are above me, people that are, just starting out. And there's a lot of people that have beautiful equipment, but are like, they're not loose, man. They're just fucking stiff, and they're talking about shit that just, I don't know, it seems like rehearsed and scripted, and I don't think, I mean, it's not what I'm going for. I guess, it's not my cup of tea.
No, I dig what you're doing, dude. You sound natural. Like, you sound like a real person, not a fucking, like a news anchor or something that's like, and today on the podcast, I hate when fucking people say, on the last night podcast.
Yeah, man, that's like, it feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, fucking arrogant. Like, who are you to be talking like a goofy ass news anchor? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just, I try to stay away from that.
Especially when you clearly don't have that voice. You just sound like a regular dude trying to do that voice.
Yeah, because you think it's what people want to hear. Like, I don't really necessarily care what people want to hear. I mean, I think I have a decent feel for it. I think, I recently had like the John Wayne Parr thing. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. So what was interesting about that was, like, I got some fans from that, and those were the people that got the joke were the people that I was interested in. The people that thought that I was serious, I'm not really so much interested in them. So it's all right.
You know what, dude? I saw that shit and I was like, first I saw it before he reposted it. I saw what you posted.
Yeah.
Of like your DMs and shit, and I obviously thought you were joking, like that's you're fucking dealing with comedians and fucking you're talking about comedy constantly and like whatever.
Yeah.
So like I'm like I think John Wayne Parr just like didn't get the joke here, or
which is fine. Fine.
Yeah, but you know what? He must look at all his DMs, dude, because.
Yeah.
You don't fucking if you got as many followers as him, you don't really look at, like, you will see one pop up if somebody's not that's following you if they have a little bit of a I feel like there's some weird algorithm with fucking Instagram where if you have a little bit of a following, your fucking DM goes to their like main page, whatever.
I could buy that.
It's weird. It's because I have my podcast page, and then also with Joey's that I run for him, I see like the different way that the DMs work with big accounts and smaller accounts. So.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure Joey's is flooded with mad people.
Dude, let me fucking tell you, dude. It's like he's got when you go into your DM page, and there's just a list of whoever you DM'd recently or whatever, right? Well, there's like once in a while you'll see like up in the top right corner how it says like new request or some shit like that.
Yeah,
That's for like one of us.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he has. It don't even say that anymore. There's just a whole nother section where it's just, everybody else's DMs coming to him that are just like fans that follow him that he doesn't follow. So it's weird. It's like unless you're following a person, you don't see their DM. But,
is he verified? Like he has the blue check mark on his page that
yeah.
So I wonder if they change it a little bit.
I don't know, man. It's weird how that shit works, dude. I've been trying to fucking figure it out since I started that page and since I started doing my thing too. And there's just no fucking rhyme or reason, I don't think, dude. With Joey, he's just fucking popular. He's just fucking loved and people love him. Like I've never fucking paid for a follower or anything, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I've seen big people and big pages and I look at some of their followers and I'm like, you either bought these or something weird's going on.
Yeah. You know what? I think people, for like Joey and everything, people severely underestimate maybe not only where podcasting is right now, but where it's going and how many people it reaches on. I mean, yeah. When Rogan, Christina Pazynski and Tom Segura and the fighter and the kid and Joey Diaz, when they just so happen to align with their not putting out podcasts, it's a drought, dude. It's like I'm like, shit, man, what the fuck? Like, I gotta get my fix. Like, I can't. I'm like searching through shit, trying to find old episodes that I maybe overlooked, but I haven't missed an episode in fucking years because I'm a psycho. I do a lot.
Have you listened to all of the churches? Because Lee, last year, Lee put up the whole entire catalog on iTunes, like, because they weren't all up on there. You know how, like, sometimes they, like, take the first, like, if you got 500, the fucking first 250 aren't there anymore? I don't know why. It's just... Yeah,
they'll just kind of do away with them. I don't know what that...
But he loaded them all back up, and when he did that, dude, I went back and fucking listened from the beginning of that, and then I caught up to myself, and even before that, I was listening to one with Joey and Felicia Michaels, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep, go on iTunes, dude.
Wow.
It's Beauty and the Beast, D-A.
The Beast. That motherfucker is so great. It's I think it's the same thing. Joey is successful for the same reason that a lot of these podcasts are successful, and it's because people are...
He's real.
They want some fucking realness, man. Nobody wants to hear any scripted bullshit anymore. We've been fed that crap, for years and years and years. We're tired of it. We can, I can't even watch a show when the acting's bad. Like if I can smell the acting, I'm like, fuck this shit, dude. I can't even watch this. I have to. There's certain shows like I can't fuck with anything on the WB or get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
I can't watch that
I can't
shit.
watch anything sometimes when I go over like a friend's house and they have like a real HD, like super high quality TV and the shows look fake. They look like like home videos.
Yeah. I think, you know what I think that is? I think there's a way to set your... Because it all looks like a soap opera. You know what I mean? Like the way a soap opera is shot.
Yeah, like there's no filter on anything or nothing. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. But we're definitely in this era where I think we're backing out of, all the fake shit. And, that's why when I heard recently Netflix is like considering commercials, I'm like, dude, why?
Really?
Yeah, I heard about it. I don't know how true it is. I kind of heard it peripherally. But it's like, fuck that, dude. What are you doing? That was why we loved you.
Who knows? Maybe they're going backwards and doing what Hulu did at first and had like the commercials you know, and then you could pay the extra whatever and get. So
Yeah,
they're gonna give us all commercials on Netflix as it is, and then they're gonna say if you don't want commercials, you can pay twice as much.
get the hell out of here. I can't even stand Hulu for that shit, man.
I know. I used
They don't
to.
even carry the ads.
I used to get so because they only when Hulu first started, dude. I used to watch that a lot too, and I think it was The Office or something that I was fucking binging. I would get used to all the commercials because they were like the same 3 commercials every show.
Yeah, that's kind of even more of a bummer than watching fucking cable television or some shit, because it's literally the same fucking, and then you wind up speaking along with the actors on the commercial.
Yeah. I feel like they're making you go crazy.
Yeah, I don't think, honestly, dude, if I'm being conservative, like if I'm being generous rather, I think the amount of times I've saw some shit on a commercial and bought it, I've got to be able to count that on one hand. I swear to God.
Right?
I'm spiteful. If I see it on a commercial, I'm like, nah, now you're not getting my money. You fucking interrupted my show.
That's exactly right. But that's another reason why they don't get why fucking podcasts are where it's at right now and where it's going to be at is because people now, you know, some people have sponsors or whatever. I just got one finally, fucking
Nice,
forever.
congratulations.
Thank you. This one of my friends. It was on the podcast earlier. He's a fucking cool dude. But anyway.
What was it? The Moab, right?
Yeah, Hike Moab, Micah. Yeah.
What is that? Is that they're offering hiking gear or?
No, he's out in Utah. Like he is in Moab, like where they fucking filmed Westworld and shit. And he actually lived in like I think it was like Georgia or North Florida, something like that, and hiked all the way to fucking where he's at, and then started working at this place, and then he recently bought it. So now he owns it.
Jesus Christ! He just hiked to a place and decided to live there.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking amazing.
He wasn't fucking around. But
That's great.
It's like, but now like podcasters can either do their ads, in the beginning, middle, end, or some I've heard just fucking sneak it in there. They don't even fucking let you know it's coming, dude.
Ooh, check that shit out.
You know what stuff they don't want you to know. I listened to them like when I first started listening to podcasts, and then I like recently went back to it again, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they were talking about something, and then mid like sentence, bam, commercial, and then you're like, wait, was that?
Yeah.
I think that was a commercial. What the fuck? But like podcasters could technically just slip it the fuck in there as something that they like or enjoy, not even try to sell it, and that sells it.
Yeah, I had somebody reach out to me, and they were like, oh, we'd like to sponsor you. And I felt kind of weird about it because I'm overly cautious about, a lot of things. So they reach out to me and they're like, we like what you're saying and we'd like to sponsor you. And I go, what is it that you liked? Like, what episode did you listen to? And I don't even know what they said. It was some really vague generalization. So I knew like they didn't listen. I was like, okay. And then I was like, what sort of things are grounds for like a severance of the contract or whatever?
Yeah.
And they were like, anything racist or sexist or homophobic or anything like that. And I'm thinking like, well, I know I'm not racist or sexist or homophobic, but if I want to have a subtle, nuanced conversation, about race, or if I want to have a conversation about, gender or some shit like that, I don't want somebody else to decide where the line is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
If I know I'm not a piece of shit, then I'm fine with that, and I'll talk about it all I want. So I didn't take that one. I was like, nah, fuck it, man. I'll be all right.
Well, I was just listening to the MMA JRE, the one with Ari that just came out.
That was great. Yeah, that was great. I saw the work. Didn't you do artwork for that already, or?
No, not that one. I could
have sworn I saw something. Okay, go on.
I forget what I did last. The last one I did was for Joe, was that him as The Rock.
Oh, that was great, dude. It was so weird how his face just like, it was, the shading and everything was perfect. He looked like, it looked right.
Yeah, I didn't really do much. It was weird, dude.
Yeah, it was just like his face fit perfectly on there.
I'll send you I just sent it to Jessica Wellington. I just had her on, and she's been getting into Photoshop too. And I heard you talk about, you were trying to get into it a little bit to fuck with your friends and shit.
Oh, that sounds so fun, dude.
You have an iPhone, right? You said?
Yeah, I do have an iPhone.
So I'll just send you like a picture of the little block of apps that I have, and
Okay,
you
cool.
can fuck with them, dude. You just go on YouTube and look up the tutorials. That's all I did.
That's when I was talking to Photoshop Steve, and he was just like, his buddy got married and he photoshopped him holding his wife, but one of his balls was hanging out of his Speedo. That's the funniest shit in the world. Oh my God.
I know that. I mean, and that's really cool to do, like fun to do, like, you know, texting your friend. You know, it's a little different than putting it right on Facebook, but
yeah, but just to send it to him, like, oh, I got this picture of you, and it's just one of the, oh my God, like I just think about my friends and how much of a kick I would get out of that.
Yeah, there's been a bunch that I've done that have not gone social. You know what I'm saying?
I can only imagine.
But yeah, dude, there's like I got like there's like 9 apps that I use mainly.
Oh damn.
And you just go back and forth and fucking get used to what you're trying to do and whatever. And you know what? I fucking I make a lot of like, I have albums on my phone of all the different people that I work with, and then I'll also go into the one app is called Enlight Photo Fox. It's like the Photoshop app, and you just cut out their head and then save that as a PNG to your phone and put that in your file. And then that way you just always have their fucking head.
Oh, that's beautiful. Just whenever you want. Yeah, whenever you see something that's inspiring that makes you laugh, just pull out one of their heads.
Bam. You know? It's fun as hell, dude. It's crazy. The way, like, we're talking right now because you wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to start a podcast fucking 3.5 years ago, you know? It's just weird. It's just crazy how the shit brings us together like this. Like, I would have never fucking heard of you or met you if it wasn't for this shit, you know?
I've had people ask me, like, oh, what's the goal? Like, I'm like, dude, I don't ever think it's going to get big and I'm going to get rich. The goal is already what's already happening. Yeah, like, to be able to talk to cool people. That's fucking it, man. That's awesome. Hell, you know, I'm sitting here talking to you. I got to do a whole fucking thing with Photoshop Steve, you know, like, that was fucking awesome. Yeah, that dude was cool, like...
I was that other podcast he was on.
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. Dude.
He's cool as hell, man. And you gotta try and get Marty from Drastic Graphics. He's gonna come back on here like later on this year because he's got some new deal rolling out. But he like, as far as like a graphic designer that like is more on the business end, because I listened to your Photoshop Steve one. He's, you know, he does it for his reasons, and he ain't trying to get into the money thing, and that's fucking cool as shit. And
yeah, it's kind of admirable, right?
Yeah, it's really admirable, you know? Like, and we kind of touched on that a little bit back when I had him on, like, almost 2 years ago now. But, like, it seems like he's even more adamant about that, you know? But that's cool, though. I mean, that's his thing, and that's what he does, and...
Yeah, it's fine for him. It makes him happy.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's all about, dude. And if you could fucking make a couple bucks on the side, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
But Marty was the one that like was talking about, because he's got the Drastic Graphics and he does the Fighter and the Kid and, you know, a whole shitload of other people, including Rogan, and I don't even know his whole entourage of people that he does. He's just growing and growing. But he moved from East Coast out there, fucking started his business. Now I'm pretty sure that he's got a fucking office and he's got like people around the country that like work for him, like, you know,
that's wild,
people like me that just like do it on the side and just fucking whatever, man. That's one thing. I'm not fucking anywhere near that shit. All this shit is just all me. So I can't even fucking think about, you know, moving, you know what's interesting? People, but
what's interesting about that is, like, I feel like that is closer than you would think, because, you know, if you're somebody on the outside who doesn't have a podcast, you know, for years I wanted to make one, and I thought it was this really distant, hard to achieve, complicated thing. And, like, albeit it was difficult to, like, get it up and running, but it didn't cost me anything. Yeah. And ultimately, I'm just sitting in my basement. I've got my, you know, my headphones and my mic and my laptop and everything set up. And, you know, I think it's just a matter of pulling the trigger on shit. Like, for example, I was listening to your episode with Rob from McDo Joe. I was listening to it when all of a sudden, this is the weirdest shit, dude, is I'm listening to you and him talk, And then all of a sudden I get a notification that, Rob just went live on Instagram. So I'm like, oh, I literally could hop on there and be like, yo, dude, I'm fucking listening to you right now. I'm one by one. So I do that. I take a break. I pause the podcast. I hop on. I'm like, yo, dude, fucking listening to you. I'm one by one. He goes, yo, man, if you ever want me on the podcast, I'd be happy to do it. I went, wait, what? Like, at that point, I had done, I don't believe I had done a guest yet. I had my cousin, like, lined up or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be doing solo episodes for like 50 episodes before I ever had a guest. And all of a sudden he was just like, yeah, if you want me on, just give me a shout. And I was like, what the fuck? So
Hey, he's a cool dude.
He's a very cool dude. And McDo Joe is very much one of those things where, like, if you don't know him and on any kind of personal level, you look at that page and you're just like, oh man, what's that got to be like? What's that dude like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, dude, if you want me to fucking do it, no big deal. I was like, what? So I contacted him. He said, yeah. And then, what you've already done is, to me, it's like proof that the ideas that I had knocking around my head are actually a good move and that would actually work, because I looked at people like Photoshop Steve and I was like, I'd like to talk to him one day. And all of a sudden I'm going through your podcast and I'm like, Photoshop, oh my God, he fucking did Photoshop Steve. And, so once I heard that gave me the balls to like reach out to him. So whatever ideas that I had in my mind that I thought were far-fetched, like, you actually already did them and proved that they work. And it's kind of it's like this weird subculture, right? This subculture that exists because of Rogan and Joey. Yeah. And, Brendan and Brian, and that's the people that I'm interested in talking to.
Yeah.
So it is really interesting that it kind of played out like that anyway, and that you had already headed down that route and proved, like, yeah, this is the fucking way to do it.
Yeah, that's very fucking cool to hear, dude, because I started this because of just listening to Joey, and, like, he'd fucking say, if you're going to fucking do something, just do it, And Rogan, too, like, if you're going to just start a podcast, what the fuck, like, there ain't no fucking big thing to it,
Yeah.
And, I had the fucking luck, just sheer fucking luck, because of the time that I got into doing what I was doing. Like, when I first started listening to the podcasts and stuff, I wasn't really doing, like, Photoshop for comedians. I was doing it for, like, bands and stuff in my area. And it really wasn't fucking going anywhere. Like, even though I was, like, working with photographers that were taking pictures of, like, big bands, trying to, like, tag a band and fucking, hey, look at this picture I made from your show.
Yeah,
like, it was just fucking. But I thought it was a cool idea to, like, take individual shots from a fucking a show and then put them all together in a Photoshop and, like, put a crazy background or some shit. But it never went anywhere. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So,
and it's funny because this ends up being like a byproduct of the thing that you thought was going to be the way. Yeah. And then here's a little byproduct of it that's actually the way.
Yeah. So, like, after I started listening to shit, and, honestly, Photoshop Steve was, like, one of the first people I saw do, like, a Photoshop like that, especially with, like, Rogan and stuff on it. I was like, that is fucking hilarious. Because I remember back in, like, 1999, I worked at this law firm. I still work at a fucking law firm during the day, but this was a different one that we had this one lady, and we would joke around a lot. I was like the class clown in our little department, and she brought in this picture of her, and she had like this big afro, and it was from like the 60s or 70s, and everybody, she was like, what the, I don't know. I took it and I photocopied it like on the actual copier, and took a comic book that had like a whole bunch of pictures of like people in an office, and I put all of our pictures on it. It was like Photoshop, like before I could even afford or even knew what Photoshop was.
Yeah.
But then, like, it just grew and grew, and that's where I always remembered doing that, and I liked doing it. And then when I got the iPhone back in like 07 or whatever, started fucking with apps and just putting shit over top of each other, and that's it, man.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever done has been on an iPad or this iPhone, and
Yeah, it didn't involve fucking glue or anything this time.
yeah, fuck that shit. Or like resizing it, like, do you ever have to resize something on an actual copier? That shit sucks.
You know, it was interesting because, like, you know, looking at Photoshop Steve and what he did, to me it was very much how like the first few podcasts popped up. And it was like, if you looked, I swear there was probably people in the very early days of when like Rogan was doing it who would say like, oh, you can't do that because Rogan's already doing it. But there was another group of people that were like, oh shit, that's a thing to do. Like podcasting is a thing to do. Like making a meal and selling it is a thing to do. You know, like Photoshop Steve came along and was one of the first people to show you like, hey, now that the internet is like this and social media is like this, here's a thing to do.
Yeah.
And now all these people can have all this fucking fun with it. And it's like, you know, he does some of the best work, but it certainly doesn't mean that there's not a shit ton of room for anybody because everybody's take on humor and shit is all different. So there's plenty of room.
I mean, it's a different medium, but it's art. I feel like,
Absolutely.
you know, even though you're using other pictures and shit, like it's hard to like he was talking about like the copyright stuff. Dude, I would have fucking been made mad fucking t-shirts and shit like that, but
I know, right?
I just don't know. In every state, like he was talking about whoever's up in Rhode Island or whatever, but like I'm pretty sure every fucking state has different copyright laws. So even like I don't know if every state is change 5 things and then you're good, you know?
Yeah,
if that was the case, that would be easy.
Yeah, it's a really like arbitrary number. Like who the fuck was just like 5's too much? 5, that's too much.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or whatever the hell. That's a very strange. But what he was saying, dude, his story about photoshopping Mike Tyson as Prince.
Yeah, no. That would have pissed me the fuck off, dude. Oh, my God.
And then Mike Tyson reposts that picture in honor of Prince, who had recently passed away. And then all of a sudden, some media website picks that up and reposts it and does an article about it. Meanwhile, it's some other jackass's watermark on it because they fucking stole it from him. Yeah. And he's just like, well, you know, yeah, it was a bummer. A bummer? Steve, I'd have broken somebody's fucking legs. Are you kidding me?
Dude, I would have been upset. I would have been pissed off. Honestly, I would have been so pissed off. And the same thing happened. Did you listen to the one I had with Andy Singer, Bearded Humor?
Yeah, I did.
With him and fucking The Rock and Kevin Hart, you know, like the same. And that thing went on Ellen, like.
I actually was listening to that one at work, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" That's the one where he had Kevin Hart photoshopped as his baby, right? Yeah. Dude, that was such a bummer, such an unbelievable. But look at that. That's 2 big pages with. Excuse me. With like, that's arguably could have been their biggest moments.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Ellen DeGeneres, like. Who the fuck? It doesn't get bigger than those names. You know what I mean?
Right
Unless
now.
you're going like Barack Obama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. That's it, man. You're already up there. So for you to have missed that shot and these people who, you know, are getting by claiming other people's work. I don't know if you remember back in the day when Rogan would talk about the fat Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
And how he wouldn't like
he wouldn't tag anybody and he would like crop the shit.
Dude, and he built a fucking Instagram empire off of that shit.
I know, man. That's why I recently I heard this is weird. I heard your podcast with Photoshop Steve and talking about, you know, the Mike Tyson thing. And then I was thinking about it. It was just simmering in my head and I was like, "You know what? Fuck this fucking powerful Joe Rogan dude."
It is interesting, right? Because he has a huge page, and
yeah, now he does,
and it's strictly just posting Rogan's like I reposted some of his stuff because, you know, I guess if he's providing a service, it's like,
well, some of it's funny, but if you look at it, like the ones where like Joe versus Joe or whatever the fuck, that's somebody else made that on YouTube.
Yeah,
he just fucking,
and those fucking things are hilarious.
Yeah. That's why I had to make that Joey one. That kind of, it really sucked, but I had to make something.
Well, he reposted. He used your art as a thumbnail, right? Is that what just happened recently?
Like,
and did not attribute it at all to you. I don't know, dude. It's
And
weird.
I wouldn't have said anything again too, but like as when I saw that he posted that, it was like a few days or like a day after I made the post, or
Yeah, so
maybe
the
even
timing,
longer. But
yeah.
like, you know, like people seeing it, like All Things Comedy retweeted it and whatever, and you know,
Yeah.
people seen it. And I hate even fucking complaining about this
I know,
shit, but
but
it's just like, come the fuck on, dude. This is 2018. This is how shit works. Like, you tag a
yeah.
motherfucker if they made it. You know,
How hard
like,
would it
what's the
would it be to
problem?
say, fucking thumbnail by one?
Exactly.
That's it. That's it.
It
That's all
took
you gotta fucking say.
10 seconds to type out. So, I feel like, I'm to the point where I should, if somebody does that kind of shit, like Photoshop Steve's a nice guy, man, and he like messaged the person individually, I guess. I don't know, but if you're gonna do that on social media these days to people, I'm gonna do it right fuck back and call you out. Like,
Yeah, well,
don't fucking be a jerk off. Like, what the
yeah.
fuck
I
is the
mean,
deal, man? Like,
that fucking picture didn't exist until you thought it up. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then it's out there in the world, and it is something small because he's using it as a thumbnail, but still, I mean, you could have fucking not used it as a thumbnail at all.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have easily just used the fucking image from the video itself. But he went out of his way to get that image that you fucking created,
Yeah.
which is weird, right? Because it's like, is he on your page?
Yeah,
Did he
I
go
don't know.
on your
Well,
page?
the thing is, like, I saw he posted it, and I commented. You saw my comment because
Yeah.
I was like, hey, thanks for using my thing. He never liked my comment or anything, and that's what I gave him a couple days to see if he would even like that,
No
and he
response?
didn't even like it. So I was like, this dude pays, like, he likes every other comment on the fucking thing and comments and whatever. So
Yeah.
he's not liking it on purpose. So I was like, all right, well, let me say something real quick. And then you know what he did?
What do you do?
He liked it,
Oh, dude.
the
See,
post,
How
and didn't
how
post
easy
anything.
would it have? Yeah, how easy would it have been if he was just like, dude, my bad, slipped my mind. I just do an edit in the
Yeah.
caption, and
I
you
don't-
go there, and the edit was, like I said, thumbnail by fucking at one by one. Like,
Yeah. Well, the thing, I don't know. I just, something's weird about it because I knew that he wasn't working, like, he's not affiliated with Rogan because I talked to Rogan and I know that fucking
oh yeah, for
he
sure
doesn't
he's
have
not.
that going on, and like
Yeah.
he's Chase Leopard, you
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that guy. He started this group page or a group DM with a whole bunch of us on Instagram, and somebody threw the Powerful Joe Rogan in there for some reason. I don't know why, because he doesn't really create shit, but he just the only thing he likes stuff and shit, but he says like, yeah, I'm helping Joe with e-commerce. Do you guys know anything about e-commerce? I'm like, I didn't respond. I don't even remember what everybody else said, but kind of just, went away in the conversation because those guys, dude, there's fucking like 15 or 20 of them in there, and then like 4 or 5, like Chase, photoshopped as fuck,
Yeah.
DreamWorks, oh my Jesus, I think I forgot the fuck.
Oh my Jesus. Yeah.
They're constantly like, I feel bad because like I'm in it too, but like I'm at work all day. I'm making shit that I have to listen to and make, and like it's hard for me. Like whenever I do something, and like I don't know, I just feel bad. So I like their posts when they do it and shit, but they're like they're going back and forth with each other, like talking about edits and like what should I do here, and I think it's fucking awesome. Like
it's a great move, I think.
Yeah. So
those guys are interesting to me because I think they have a good sense of like, you never know. All right, like Photoshop Steve and like yourself, because you've been doing this for a long ass time and you're working with Joey and you're working with Joe Rogan. Like these guys recognize like that the people that they admire are reachable, and that instead of doing like this cutthroat kind of competitive one for, or what's that term, every man for himself kind of an ideology, it's like, why don't we all, because imagine 5 years from now they've all helped each other out in such a way that group is pumping out all of the fucking Photoshop or the artwork that you see that surrounds these people. Like, You know what I mean? I think they have it's a good move there. That's what I was trying to do, and I'm still trying to do it. You know, I reach out to podcasters that are like, you know, on my level because it's, to me, what's important is like genuine interaction, being genuine with each other instead of that fucking fake ass like follow me or head to my page and like my shit or oh god, that's fucking gross, man. It's not gonna work. Like,
dude, anytime I post anything, like even sharing my podcast, dude, I hate doing it. Like, I just want to be able to like put it up and not say anything about it.
I know. I'd love to one day get to the point where I don't have to use all those goofy fucking hashtags and shit because it's just, you know. But I'm just trying to get some sort of a base or a track. It's a little bit hard because like I said, I don't have anything that I'm offering aside just bullshitting on a microphone. You know what I mean? But it's a long game that I'm playing. And to me, I'm like, if I develop relationships with people and I don't just fucking give them like the, you know, the shallow, great pick, that fucking comment, like, oh God, you know what I mean? Like, I try to, you know, and that also means like, okay, if I'm going to fucking talk to podcasters, so I got to listen to their show. So I listen to an absurd amount of podcasts constantly all day from 4 a.m. till like fucking, I get home at 3 o'clock and then it starts again the next day. You know what's funny? A little side story is I had this whole thing that I'm doing. Like I was treating it like a job, right? Like phase 1 is this, that, and this. Phase 2 is this, that, and this. So there was people that I had intended to contact, but I needed to be reputable enough. Like I have to have enough, I guess, episodes under my belt so that you could listen to me and go, okay, this dude's not a total psychopath, so that's cool.
Like you did with John Wayne Parr.
Yeah, exactly. With that kind of fucking bomb. He 100% thinks I'm a total psychopath, and apparently so do like 1,200 other people, so that's cool.
Nah, dude. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I don't mean to interrupt your story, but that was fucking retarded. Like,
it was bizarre, dude.
And I'm sorry to use that word because I don't even use that word.
I think this was in the strictest sense. This was retarded in the strictest sense of the word.
Yeah, like he likes comedy. Like I've seen videos that he's posted where it's him holding his phone and like Rogan like mentions to him on the podcast and he's like looking at the phone, pointing at it, like laughing, like oh, he said my name. Like
yeah.
Like dude, relax, man.
Yeah, I thought I had a good feel for his sense of humor, but you know, in his defense,
Isn't he from like Australia or something?
I don't know, dude. I just think I wrote that so convincingly that, you know. But dude, let me tell you, the amount of fucking I'm fucking nobody, right? I've got no followers. The amount of hate mail and messages and vicious shit. Somebody like threatened to rape my kid. All kinds of crazy crap. Oh my god, dude! It went dark real quick. And what I thought was crazy about it was like I didn't say anything mean to him. You know, I wasn't like John Wayne Parr, you suck. Like that certainly wasn't anything that I said. And then in the comments, I would respond to people because I was like, well, you know, there's some people out there that knew it was a joke, and the other people that didn't, I'll just have a bit of fun with them. I was never mean. I didn't like fight anyone. I made like self-deprecating jokes and, you know, whatever. Somebody threatened. They hopped on my wife's page. They fucking openly talked about trying to bang my 3-year-old son. It was real. My wife's like, yeah. Shit? My wife's like, what do I do? I'm like, just block them and keep moving, man. Don't even interact with them. You know, don't feed the trolls. But
fuck no, dude. There's a lot of them too, man.
Holy shit. But yeah, so anyway, I like I said, I had these plans in order that I was going to reach out to these people and these people, but I just had to get big enough that I was on their radar and they knew I wasn't fucking broken. And then what was interesting was I was actually sneaking up on you because I had been listening to your work for a while. And
thank you.
I was like, so what I'm going to do is because number one, you're in Jersey. Number two, we admire the same people. We're fans of the same people. And, you know, number three, I'm a fan of the podcast and especially the Photoshop work and everything. So I was like, eventually I'm going to sneak up from behind this dude and be like, yo, what's up, man? Can I get on the... And then, you know, you actually reached out to me. So I was like, holy shit, I must at least be displaying that I'm not a psychopath. And that's cool.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing I was saying, dude, with the podcasting and the advertising thing, how you can do it kind of subliminally, you know, however you say that. But I noticed that one post that you posted with like the podcasts in it, you know, the 4 pictures.
Ah, yeah.
You know, and that's where I kind of checked you out, and I saw what you're doing. Then eventually you had McDo Joe on, and then Photoshop Steve, and I listened to the Drawn from the Mind one.
Oh, that was Nathan. Yeah, he's
Nathan.
great.
He's cool, man. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, it fucking works like that, dude. You gotta, like, be subtle about shit. You can't fucking come at people. Like, it's weird. Like, I've had a couple guests that have done my podcast that have asked me. I didn't ask them.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like,
oh, you know who I took a page from your book? Well, it seems like I've taken a lot of pages from your book, but it's a good book so far. So, I started talking a little bit to Russell Bilt, and
yes.
I wasn't gonna ask him to be on because I didn't want to be a fucking, a shitty, cheap version of you. But I was, talking to him just about his work, and then he started to talk about, why he does it and how his child's affected with autism and everything.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but get the feeling like, oh, this dude like wants to tell his story. He wants,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And so as soon as I asked him, he was like, hell yes. We had a long conversation before. Like I said, I wasn't going to because I'm actually a welder and a fabricator at my day job. So
oh, no
he and
shit.
I had that in common. Yeah. And, but like I said, wasn't going to ask him because I just didn't want to. I just really wanted to tell him I was a fan of his work. Those grandfather clocks were badass.
Yeah.
He does really quality work, and I listened to your entire episode with him. So, and and then like I said, after some time, I was like, this dude actually seems like he wants to be on. And so I've had other people ask me, but you're kind of like,
well, yeah,
like.
You're like, let me check you out first. Let me listen to your podcast. Like, if it's another podcast person, like, because a lot of the time it's like another guy with a podcast wants to come on your podcast and
collaborate somehow.
and, and then not have you back on his podcast.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But shit happens like that. But dude, you have like the way that you did it with John Wayne Parr. Maybe not joke around as much. Maybe just be like straightforward, short and sweet to the point. But like, that's how I got. Well, besides, I mean, I admit, just because of the fact that I work with Joey, I'm sure that people that have agreed to be on my podcast have agreed basically because of that.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, it's just. I mean, it'd be cooler if they said, yeah, without that, but
use an ace where you have an ace.
Exactly. So, but like when I first started though, like I didn't have shit, dude. Like I still like my following. Like all I see like as far as numbers, like I can see some stuff through. I use Libsyn to upload the podcast, and that goes from that site to like everywhere else. But it doesn't really give you the numbers for all the different individual sites. It just gives you like iTunes. And I'm not even sure if that's right.
Yeah.
But it's just weird, man. But
I have a similar one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like uploads to a bunch of. It's called Anchor, and without Anchor, because
that's you can do on your phone, right?
Yeah, I'm using it off my phone because trying to figure out like how to be a partner with iTunes, and it was like seemingly impossible.
Dude,
like no matter how much I Googled it,
that was a pain in the fucking ass,
holy
man.
Shit, dude, it was the worst part. Like. Making the podcast is easy. Finding a fucking place where people could hear your podcast, especially one that isn't weird as shit. Like, please download this super obscure app so that you could listen to my voice. Like, dude, I just want iTunes and Spotify and Google. Like, and it was so fucking hard. I finally found one that did it, but yeah, it just uploads it to everywhere for me.
Dude, I mean, I could tell you that I could probably say that I've listened or watched about at least a couple days worth of videos on YouTube to be able to do everything that I do. Like if it was actual school, it would have been at least a year.
Yeah, and 20,000.
Yeah, and 20 grand.
Yep.
But that's it's fucking stupid. I hate school, man. That's not that I hate school, but like when I was telling you I first started doing the edits and stuff for the bands, that's when I got into University of Phoenix.
Okay.
They had the online graphic design degree, and it just at the time with full-time job, my job, and I had like part-time job, and I didn't realize how fucking much work online school is, dude. I don't know if you ever tried it or had to do it, but it's a lot of fucking typing and going back and forth with people about shit, and I just didn't have the time. So I finished 3 semesters and then quit. And now I owe like 15 grand.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, never got a shit, and then I can't transfer any of those credits to an actual college because they weren't anything. They were just like prerequisite classes for the online course. I don't even fucking know.
That's
So,
amazing.
like, it's basically I'm just out the time and all that money, and now I'm actually doing what I wanted to do, but I'm fucking in debt.
and you could have found the shortcut there, which is, it's like
I could have waited
for
a
me,
couple years or a year or two.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so boring. Like, I can't learn a thing unless I'm doing it. I can't fucking read it. I can't watch a video on it. Like, the videos
really?
help. I can't, like, for example, probably before a year ago, I knew absolutely nothing about maintaining a vehicle as far as, like, doing anything under the hood. I didn't know shit. I maybe could have pulled off an oil change or changed a tire. That was about it. And then,
That's me.
yeah, and then one day I bought. This is only a year ago. I decided to buy a Jeep, and I knew a bunch of shit was gonna go wrong with it, but I was like, "Fuck it, man. When it goes wrong, I'll Google it to the best of my abilities, and I'll fix it." And yeah, that happened, and now I know how to fix my truck. A bunch of different shit. I've done shit that I didn't fucking, and it would have never worked if you sent me to, like, I don't know, if I had to read it in a book, or if I had to take online
You're a
courses
visual
on
learner. You got to watch somebody do it and then try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I watch somebody do it, and then I have to fucking do it myself. I can't, like, learning how to weld was the same thing. I heard a lot of people go to school for welding. They'll drop like 15 grand, and then they'll come out still not being able to weld. And I'm like, that's fucking absurd. But that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas I learned in, like, I don't know, like half a year for free because I worked in a metal shop and there was metal everywhere that I could practice on. And they let me just, go at it as I please. So if it wasn't for being able to actually do it, I would have never learned this shit. I can't, I think the whole ideas of universities and shit is really, it can't be around much longer when everything you could learn at a university you could learn online for free.
Yeah. Well, that's why they have those masterclass things now. You see that shit?
Yeah. It's
I mean, that's
like,
for
why the hell?
that crazy stuff, like, entertainment stuff, but I'm sure that they could do that for college, like fucking make a video, send the person the shit that you need to fucking do whatever you're doing, and fucking take a little test.
What's got to be bullshit is they have, like, podcasting seminars now. I don't know if it
I've seen that shit. Yeah, like, what are you gonna go there and talk about with a whole bunch of other fucking stinky people?
Yeah, it's just I don't think it's fucking. I don't think it's like self-help groups. When you go to, like, self-help seminars and Tony Robbins is telling you to dump your ex, your girlfriend or whatever, or fucking divorce your wife. Like, I feel like the people that are in that audience, they ain't doing dick. They just want to, like, I don't know. They just want to partake in the conversation about doing something. The people that I've even heard Rogan say it. It's like the people that are going to self-help groups are usually the people that aren't helping themselves. Like, they're never going to.
Yeah.
Because what it really takes is just putting your fucking foot down and doing a thing. So when you go to a podcasting seminar and it's like, I think those people are at the same state of mind that I was in for a while, which is like, I can't start a podcast until I know how to do this, and I need that, and I need substance, and I need guests, and I need equipment, and I need a studio, and I need da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And at the end of the day, it was like, no, you just need to fucking press record and start flapping your face.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only thing that I could think would be good about those things is that you can meet other people doing it, like a shitload of them all at one time.
Yeah, which is
in person,
Yeah, it's a good way to weed out the crazy people, because online it's hard to tell who's fucking crazy.
Yeah, John Wayne Parr.
John Wayne Parr, if you're fucking listening to this, I'm not crazy.
JWP.
Yeah, you know what was really funny, man? Was in the comments, people were calling him JP and telling him not to muck it up, because that's what I said. And oh my fucking God, I was crying. Every time I read something like, come on, JP, you better not muck this up, I was fucking crying, man. That was I'm like, at least I got that. At least, he actually blocked me entirely because,
Really?
yeah, which once again, I understand why. The why is, what I started doing was like, okay, dude, there's 1,200 people in the comments talking about me. I need to figure out how to turn this fucking failure into something positive. So I was like, you don't fight with them. That's not what you do. That doesn't win. That never wins. What does win is being funny and being honest. So let's go. And I just started, anybody that I thought there was a glimmer of hope to switch him over to my side. And I wouldn't go on some long tangent. I'd just be like, hey man, I'm not crazy. I just made a joke that missed the mark. Or there would be shit like some dude was like, this dude is the type of guy that has some dead chick under his waterbed that his parents bought him in the 80s. So
I actually saw that one.
yeah. So I went, actually, it's not a waterbed, it's a bunk bed, and she gets the bottom bunk. You know what I mean? Like just shit like that, kind of trying to get a chuckle out of people. And it worked really well. But the only problem was I was blowing up his fucking notifications.
Yeah.
So at some point he just blocked me, which, people were like, that's you fucking idiot. You fucked that whole thing up. And I'm like, I don't know if I fucked that up because that didn't exist before I said something.
Well, you know what sucks? When you block somebody. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really suck for him because when you block someone, because I've had to block very seldom people on Joey's page.
Yeah.
Because dude, you can only imagine the fucking motherfuckers that follow him. But
yeah.
When you block somebody, their comments, all their comments on that particular post or whatever, disappear.
Yeah.
And any of the comments connected to it. So like he just lost a bunch of shit on that, but
yeah, well, what are you gonna do? What's I mean, you've probably seen, right, because you're fucking moderating his page. You've gotten a really good window into crazy.
Yeah.
What does that look like sometimes? Is Joey Diaz getting nothing but tit pics?
Oh no, dude. That would be cool if there was any, really, but shit. Nah, there's most of the time like I don't really go into like those DMs that are just from like the fans and shit. I stay like in the DMs that are like connected to whoever I'm like tagging in posts and fucking the stories on Instagram, because whenever you tag somebody in a story on Instagram, it comes up in the DMs and but
oh yeah.
Dude, there are some individuals, like most of them actually do like just say thank you for being you, and they tell him what happened to him or what he's helping them get through and shit. And a lot of the time I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to over on Twitter, because for some reason he responds. He does everything on his like Twitter and texts on his phone, but like he'll respond quicker if I DM him on Twitter than if I whatever to, because he says he doesn't text people, but I get texts from him once in a while to post this or post that,
all right.
And
yeah,
but I don't get much back on the text. Like I don't understand why, but he'll go on the app on Twitter on his phone and text me through there, which is basically the same thing. But
the same thing. You're clicking on an app, you're typing in words, you're sending
like it takes
words.
longer to go through Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'll DM him like a screenshot of like if somebody says something cool or whatever, something that's like heartfelt or whatever. He appreciates that shit. Obviously, he doesn't have time to fucking look at all of it.
Oh,
and
no,
neither do I, and I'm not even him. It's weird, man.
Yeah. I imagine that he strikes me as the type of dude that like, yeah, one is too busy to respond, but two actually does appreciate it.
Yeah, he really does. And most of the time, people like other people that are friends with him on there, because for a while, dude, I feel like people weren't reading the bio, like.
Oh yeah, they
managed by me. Like I put that on there for a fucking reason, because everybody thought it was him on there, and
for sure people don't fucking read that.
No,
yeah,
they
don't
follow
read
him real quick, and then all they see, like, they don't actually go to his page. They just see his posts pop up on their feed once in a while, I guess. But
yeah.
I get shit like, and it's either they think he's really doing it or they think Lee's doing it, like running the page.
Yeah, I can see that assumption.
I could see that assumption too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's the whole thing has been fucking crazy, dude. Watching it grow from 0 to, what is it, like almost 570,000 now.
Oh yeah.
Since December of 2015, almost almost 3 years.
What happened? He was like, because I know that you did the first album, or you did an album cover for him, right?
Yeah,
For,
that was where I got lucky, dude. I'd fucking.
What was it, Savage Dad?
Yeah. I just posted it back on Twitter, and he wanted to use it, and he said, "Can I DM you?" And he followed me, and then he DM'd me, and then he fucking called me, and then I was like, "Holy fucking shit!"
That's wild as hell.
Yeah, man. And that was like one of the things, like when I was doing the photoshops for the bands, I wanted to like make album covers and shit, and I just happened to fucking, bam, you know.
You made an album cover, just not what you thought you were gonna do.
Yeah, not a band, but it was fucking worth it.
Yeah, man. Oh, in a lot of ways, a lot more fun.
But yeah, he asked after I did that, because the thing when I started doing the photoshops for them, like I saw, like I was interested in it, and I'd done photoshops on people, like friends and shit like that, like change faces and stuff, but like I never did anything for anybody famous. And then, you know, after Instagram started getting popular and I started listening to Rogan more, and I saw, you know, Eddie Bravo and, you know, Photoshop Steve is just there, like he's part of that whole fucking thing. So
yeah.
But I noticed that he was just doing, like, you know, like funny shit and just writing some funny shit underneath. #nonsense.
Yeah, yep.
So, but I took it a little step further. I was like, I'm going to fucking make a funny Photoshop, but put a tour date on top of that shit and fucking see if they repost it, you know? And that's all I did on my personal page. That's where Rogan followed me back first on there. And he still follows me. I guess he doesn't care to unfollow me now, but he reposted something that I made. I think the first one that I made was him and Ian Edwards were in Colorado, and I did one. I forget which place they were at, but it had like the mountains behind them, and then the sky had like clouds made out of fucking marijuana, and it was stupid. But I put a joint in fucking Joe's mouth, and he reposted it, and I was like, "Fuck yeah! What the fuck?" So I just got like excited as shit just from that, dude. I didn't give a fuck.
Oh my god, yeah, I can only imagine.
And he didn't like write anything. You know how you can repost shit and like write shit in front of it? He just reposted it and just put my whole fucking thing and just had reposts one by one, or Michael Klein, because it wasn't even one by one at that time. There was no one by one. And then I did that a couple more times, and then, you know, as I would continue to listen to Rogan, even at that time I loved Joey, but like I didn't even think, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking make one for Joey Diaz, because I just started listening to church, and I was like, this dude's fucking like my uncle for real, like
yeah. I'm
sure you could attest, like you're from northern Jersey, right? Or central?
Well, I was central and then North Jersey.
Yeah, so like that the accent to you probably sounds even more familiar, but like,
oh yeah
he really does like remind me of one of my fucking uncles. But so I did the same thing for him, and he started retweeting it, and he wasn't on Instagram, so I was like, man, this is cool, but I'm not really sure what I should do here. And then I was like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, what's the fucking move?
Yeah, like I gotta, like, what am I gonna do? I don't want to fucking sit in this office all day still, and they just fucking whatever. So I think that was like the beginning of 2015, and then that's when I decided to start a podcast, and I started getting together the shit to do it. My friend Bob Bowling fucking helped me get everything I needed, and I put together the little stupid logo thing that I have, and I was like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna do it. And then I just recorded one solo, and then I did a couple with friends, and I kept going, and they kept reposting my shit. So then I made a 1x1 podcast page on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I started making them and posted them on that page instead. And Rogan reposted it from there and followed me on there. And, you know, he realized it was the same guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, this is so fucking cool, man. I get to fucking, even like at that time, and for the longest time after that, I was not doing it for money, dude. Like I didn't start making any fucking money until like last year, really, you know. But
Yeah.
and that wasn't even like why I started, but like it's a fucking great bonus, you
Well,
know.
no, yeah, you started doing shit that you thought was fun for people that you liked,
Yeah, yeah, that's all
which
it
is
was
fucking
about.
awesome.
Yeah. So and then I did that thing with Diaz and Savage Dad, and I was like, you know what? My next fucking move, I'm putting Joey on Instagram, even whether or not he likes it or not. Like I just started it, and you know,
That's fucking crazy. You just decided to start that shit.
yeah, I didn't ask
That's
him.
fucking
I
awesome.
was like, Joey Diaz is not on Instagram, so, and I felt like Instagram for me anyway was like, it still is, way more cooler than fucking Twitter.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Twitter is cool, but I mean, it's just kind of like, it's going down like Facebook. I feel like, and
Yeah.
so I was like, fuck it, I'm putting them on here. I looked up the Mad Flavor. I tried to start one as Mad Flavor, but some dude with like 600 followers has it. And I was like, fuck, man. So I remembered about the videos on YouTube with Joey Karate and Matt. They were called Mad Flavors World before that.
Yeah.
So I just made it that. And fucking, it went, dude. And at first, Rogan, nobody was like, wasn't sure because they knew he wasn't. He's like, I don't take pictures, dog. You know, like, I don't
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
do that
yeah.
shit. And he didn't even know. But he asked me in December of that year. He was like, all right, you're the on Twitter. He DM'd me like, you're the official church graphic artist. You down with that? And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like,
Fuck
yes,
yeah.
thank you.
That's fucking
Merry
amazing,
fucking
dude.
Christmas to me.
That's fucking amazing.
Oh my god.
And see those moments, right? You get these moments in life every once in a while and you feel like shit is fucking happening. Like you look at that day job and you're ready to punch it in its fucking face.
Dude,
Like
every
any
fucking day, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Every day since that day, I've been fucking like, fuck you, bitch. And I've had
Absolutely. It's
like,
just a matter of trying to figure it out.
yeah, it really, it's hard.
Constantly.
Especially when you're like, in debt and
Oh
you're
yeah.
trying to save to get married and you have a 1.5-year-old son and you want to fucking move, but it's like careers and,
Yeah, dude. Oh god, I know.
So, but after a while they started fucking following the Mad Flavors World page and reposting stuff from it, and Rogan would do it, and I mostly talk to Rogan through like DMs, but a lot of the time he'll just like email me like for asking me for a post or something, and one of the DMs was just like, dude, thank you so much for helping me build this page. This is back when like there was only like 70,000 followers on Mad Flavors World. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
thank you so much for helping me build this, man. Like the reason that people are following it is because not only because it's Joey, but because you're reposting stuff and tagging it,
Yeah,
So
which
like,
gets to be a job. It is an actual job, man, because just doing
yeah,
like my page, which is fucking nothing, like having to make sure that I post every day to stay fucking like on top of the algorithm or whatever the fuck's going on, it's like I can only imagine like running my personal page plus the podcast page plus like Joey Diaz's shit plus making the fucking the photoshops, plus working a full-time job. Like Jesus
yeah,
Christ, dude.
I don't know. It's definitely hard to fucking handle, man. And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I need to. I should have done it a long time ago, but I need to write down a schedule and like make sure that I get certain things done. But the thing is, though, with half of the shit that I do, like with the church, Prince and the Wolf, and the latest one I do is Liars Club. I will have to listen. All right, I want to listen
Yep.
and see
Yep.
what I
Yep.
can come up with from what they talk about or whatever. So, and it's a little different. Like, I don't know. Some of them I get like insight. Like Felicia Michaels, she'll send me like what she wants sometimes. Like she'll send me a picture to use and tell me,
Yeah.
and that's totally cool. I'm fine with doing that too. Like, but it gets so busy, dude. Like today, I fucking woke up and went to work, and I'm sitting at my desk at work, and like I'm thinking about all the shit that I gotta make, And the first thing was, what the fuck was it? Oh, the church from today with George Perez. So, like,
Okay, yeah.
I thought about that as I'm listening to the podcast, driving to drop off my son at the babysitter before I go to work. I'm listening to the podcast in the car, and I hear them talking about community service, and then later on in the podcast, actually, I heard them talking about that at first. I don't know if you like listened to that one today yet, bro. They talk about community service, and then Joey talks about fucking somebody dropping out of a tree, give him some coke or some shit, and then George Perez says, "Yeah, it's like the monkey from Hangover, or whatever." So later on, after I heard all that, like I made the first part with them in the community service thing, and then I was like, "Oh, I gotta add the monkey with the fucking 8-ball hanging out in the tree."
Gotta toss the monkey in there.
Just those little details, man. Like,
yeah, it's real because you don't want to have. I do the same thing when I'm trying to communicate with people. Is like I don't want to. It means something to other podcasters, especially when they're people that are like me or people that are even just starting out. When you listen to their work, because like I said, there's all this weird shallow bullshit on Instagram where it's like, great pic, follow my shit, so you want to have something genuine to talk about. So you have to sit there and listen to the whole fucking thing or as much of it as possible. I actually have a job where like, I could just plug my headphones in and ignore everybody. And for an 8-hour shift, I could just fucking, crank shit out. And then I have like a little notebook. I'll pull the notebook out like a psychopath and I'll write down like, some
thoughts,
sort of a
ideas.
shorthand. Yeah. Like, whatever I heard or thought about or whatever. So,
same
but
thing
it
here,
is,
dude. I sit at a desk and do that all day, except for when clients come in and I have to dress up and not wear headphones, and it pisses me the fuck off.
yeah, dude, there's just certain things, man, like the whole 9 to 5 thing. It's, you have to do it if you're not doing anything else, but it like crushes your fucking soul.
I know, dude. And fucking Rogan and Ari were just talking about it too on that damn thing. Every time that Rogan talks about like having a cubicle job, I'm just like, fucking living it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You're just looking for a way. That's always my thing, man. Whenever I've gone through anything, sometimes whatever, fucking money will get hard or, what all the countless shit that happens in your life. Every time it does, I think about something like this, like some sort of fucking, I'm sure everybody does, right? It's like the fucking get rich scheme. Like, how do we do it? What's the hustle? What's the angle? What are we going to fucking work? And I'll start piecing together shit and making a YouTube channel and shooting stupid fucking videos. And I've gotten so many like false starting things out there. Like I said, I had a podcast with my fucking wife. I had all kinds of shit. I had a couple of different YouTube channels and everything. And it's just every time some shit really cranks down on you and it starts to, rub you the wrong way. You're like, what's the hustle, man? How do I get out of this shit? How do I make that fucking money? It's like I always want to be rich. I never play the lottery.
I know, dude. And speaking of that shit, there's one dude in my office that constantly emails about the fucking lottery.
Yeah.
And they're the bill. I don't know. One of them's big right now, fucking over $1 billion or some shit.
Yeah, it just reached like $1 billion or some shit. Like, what the fuck?
So like, I'm gonna be the one asshole that doesn't fucking play in the office. That's still stuck, sitting doing work.
Imagine how fucked up that would be. That's like those moments where you miss out on Mike Tyson or Ellen DeGeneres or fucking The Rock and shit. That's what that feels like. That was their lottery, dude.
Exactly,
and they just fucking.
dude.
I wonder what the fix for that is. You know what I mean? It's just like you said, until there's a fix, it's kind of like calling these guys out, right? I mean,
yeah.
What other way until there's some sort of a, I don't know, like it's kind of sketchy, right? Because you start to get the law or something involved or copyright. I guess you could do copyright, right? But then you have to copyright every fucking image.
Yeah, I don't know. Eventually, I think that, I mean, if one of us doesn't fucking do it, like as far as us Photoshopper guys, I want to fucking do it. I want to get a lawyer and figure it the fuck out and see what I have to do in order to make shit with other photos, but still be able to sell it.
Yeah. And
that's where I mean, if I don't do any fucking thing else and build, because I have goals, but when the fuck, like, am I really gonna have my own comedy club here on the East Coast called the East Coast Comedy Store? I don't know, but maybe.
Right? That'd be some shit.
Maybe.
That'd be some shit.
dude. But it's
Well, they're
weird.
all fucking smart. They're all smart. They were like, let's go where it's warm. Ari's the only one that's over here, right? Ari Shafir's like
Yeah,
over
and
here.
fucking Dean Del Rey comes back every once in a while and
Yeah,
stays
but
over
Ari's leaving because fucking winter's coming. And it's Game of Thrones in this bitch. He's getting the fuck out of here and going back to the West Coast, man.
there. Yeah.
I'm pretty
It's smart, dude.
Oh, goddamn, it's smart. I live in a fucking mountain where when it's I don't know, like a foot, maybe a foot of snow down there by everybody else. Up on top of the mountain, we're talking like excess of 2 feet, close to 3 feet of snow. Like I've literally driven down the mountain. It's like a 10-minute drive to get off the mountain, and there's like a dusting on the ground. And back at my house, there's maybe 12 to 18 inches of snow.
Jesus.
It's fucking insane.
It's like the Poconos, dude, in PA.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
the only comparable thing I've been to. But really, like in Jersey, there's a mountain that big?
Yeah. It's fucking way on the mountain. It's right. I'm like right on the edge of New York, but not like the fun New York. More like the
top New York.
yeah. Like my neighbors are like bears and white dudes that wear camo, which is cool because you never really see them anyway. But there's just so much fucking. There's just trees and bears and deer, and you can't drive every day when you drive. Like every corner you come around, there's just deer waiting on the edge of the road. Like, yeah,
God.
what's up, bitch? Like this is gonna be the last fucking. This is gonna be the last thing you see is my tan ass coming through your windshield and knocking you the fuck out.
Yeah, fuck that.
I remember when I first moved up here, I saw some lady right ahead of me slam into a deer and send his ass skidding across the road. I pulled up next to her. I was like, yo, you good? She was like, did you see that? I was like, yeah, you should probably chill for a while. Like she was all shaking and shit. They're out here, man. They're trying to jump in front of your fucking car.
I mean, they're out here in the fucking regular, like, I don't know, suburban area. Whatever the fuck. My girlfriend just hit a deer, like, last year, the year before.
Yeah, there's so many. Where do you buy?
I'm like 25 minutes from Philly. I'm closer to like Cherry Hill, Marlton.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm in Mount Laurel.
Yeah, you're far. I have a cousin that lived out there. That's a fucking drive and a half, dude.
Yeah.
Well, from me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
like it's like 25 minutes to Philly from here and like 45 to Atlantic City the other way. That's
Okay, yeah.
I'm like basically in the middle of them, but not the middle.
Ugh, yeah, it's probably like 3 hours to Atlantic City from here. But I don't go to Atlantic City anyway because I fucking did a bunch of Adderall with my wife and gambled away like $700 on penny slots the first time I ever. Oh my god, dude! The first time I ever went to fucking Atlantic City, the first time I ever gambled, I got shit faced. I did a bunch of Adderall and I gambled away like $700 on penny slots, and then I had panic attacks for the rest of the night. I was panicking.
Well, you can't. I mean, it doesn't take much. Like, it doesn't take long to do that, especially when you're doing the penny slots and choosing like all the different like the lines that go through all this shit.
Dude, I didn't win shit. You know what's really fucked up? I'm dumping all my money into this goddamn machine. Next thing you know, I like get up out of frustration. My buddy sits down and pulls the thing twice and wins like $650.
Are you serious? That's how it fucking works, dude.
That's my fucking money.
I don't fucking go and waste my money at the
Nope.
casinos, man. I did it one time. I spent like $20 on a penny slot and I won like 70, and I cashed right the fuck out.
That's the move, bro. Not me. I was fucking gung ho. I thought I was gonna win. Just kept pulling that stupid fucking lever, which you don't even have to pull the lever. The lever and the button does the same thing. So the lever is just there for decoration now. But I was fucked up, and I was like, this is the way to do it. Keep pulling that stupid lever. Keep dumping money in. They call them the penny slots, but it's not the penny slots. It's like the $5 slots. Why are we calling them this?
You can't, like, you can bet a penny, but you only get one little choice, and
Yeah, it doesn't fucking work like that. It's complete bullshit. And they also do this nifty little trick of they don't put windows in the casinos, so you never know what time it is. So when it's 5:00 in the morning and your wife's grabbing your shoulder and going, babe, we should really call it a night. And you're like, nah, I got to get my money back. What time is it? And she goes, it's 5. And you realize you spent
Wait, what?
like, I don't know, 8 hours fucking your life up.
I know they have no windows, and it's like the air conditioning is on and that shit. I remember in Atlantic City one of the casinos' air conditioning broke. Like one time I happened to go down there, and it fucking stunk in there. Like old cigarette butts and fucking old people, dude.
Yeah, the casinos are like the last place you can still walk into where it's an establishment and you're indoors and it's filled with cigarette smoke.
Yeah, I mean, in only the designated smoking areas.
Yeah, which fucking like smoke gives a fuck.
Yeah.
It's not staying in the designated smoking areas. It's just going everywhere.
Yeah, I
Fucking
remember a couple of
creepy
years
ass.
ago, I fucking went down and I don't drink that much. I just smoke reefer and that's about it. Like,
That's probably healthier, yeah.
yeah, but like I had friends that were like smoking cigarettes in the casino. We were at a bachelorette party or bachelor party, whatever, and I was just smoking joints right in the fucking casino floor, sitting there in the penny slots,
That's
just
fucking
putting
great.
it down like when like one of the waiters or whatever will walk by.
Yeah, because how are they gonna, out of a room full of smoke, how do you figure out where that smoke's coming from?
Exactly.
You don't.
You just keep walking, dude.
That's probably every day. Like they smell it. They're just like, yeah, what the fuck ever. There's at least that dude who's dumping all his money is a little bit happier than the other dudes. So let him have his fun.
Exactly, man. And I can't wait, dude. I heard that they might fucking legalize it recreationally this month, at the end of the month.
Get the fuck out. Is it that soon?
Like, I heard the 29th, dude. I don't know.
Wow.
We'll see
Wow.
what happens, but I don't understand how it could be done before the votes and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I guess it's something
Yeah.
else. It's like the bill they've been trying to fucking pass. A lot
Yeah, I
of them
don't
have.
really know. I just know that it's been coming down the pipe now for about a year. Like I remember hearing that it was a done deal pretty much with this new governor.
Yeah.
And that but I knew there was a bunch of other shit. Like they barely want to tax it. Did you know that? They only want to tax it like
I heard that was going to be like the biggest tax of any of the states so far.
I would be fine with that because
Yeah, I wouldn't even care. 30%, I think was what I heard last. But
well, that's what it should be because what I want is so much good to come from the money that comes from it that nobody can deny it. Everyone's just like, yeah, but look at all the awesome shit we're doing with the tax money.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And meanwhile, I don't have to get stabbed or go to some shady ass dude to go fucking get weed or anything like that. I could just go to I can't wait to go to a store.
I know, man.
That's amazing.
Like like you said, it's like it's not the fact that it's like hard to get because it's kind of not really that hard to get still. But
yeah, no, it's not.
it's just a pain in the ass. Like sometimes, like right now, like I'm only getting it. I have to wait like once a week. I get it. You know, if there was a fucking store, I run out. I just run to the store real quick. Like I fucking ran out of milk. You know?
Hell yeah, that would be the shit. And then it's like all the. I mean, I remember when it all started to change, and like my dude was like, "Yo, I got inhalers. Like they look like asthma inhalers, but they're for weed." I was like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, what happened to just the regular ass weed?" He was getting all kinds of shit. It was, that's where I got my first chocolate bars and first gummy things or whatever, and
Rice Krispie treats.
yeah, Rice Krispie treats. And then one day he comes to me, he's like, "Yo, check out this inhaler." I was like, "What?" And then I did it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was so effective. I was just like, "God damn, man." Now it's like, I'm out of the loop because of where I live. I'm not really keen on going to like my neighbors and be like, "Ah, you guys know where I can get some weed?" So I just fucking like have forcibly been on a hiatus from it. But I know like my friends all have like tanks, like vape tanks. That's like the big thing. It's like this oil inside of a fucking little tank that snaps onto a vape pen.
Yep.
Like that's huge right now. I'm like,
Yeah,
there's
man.
dudes at work that are just fucking smoking it. That doesn't even smell like anything. It smells like strawberries.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
what's
fucking
crazy
future.
now, dude. But I mean, that shit's not tested, so it
Oh,
could
yeah,
not be
not
great
yet.
for us. But I mean, it really fucking does the trick, like a motherfucker,
Yeah.
dude. I remember
it's
when
really
I got arrested. I've been smoking weed since I was like 17.
Okay.
My friends didn't tell me about it at first, but anyway, I finally like did some stupid shit and smoked in the parking lot of a CVS, and somebody saw. I was with a friend. We smoked a blunt. They saw like whatever. He got out of the car and left with his girlfriend one way, and I left in my car the other way because we were waiting for his girlfriend to come pick him up.
Yeah.
and the cops like pulled in the CVS parking lot, and like they had my car's description, so they followed me, and my fucking development was like right there. I was in my development, and they pulled me over and fucking arrested me.
Damn it!
Fucked up. And this was 10 years ago. No, this is crazy, man. I can't believe I was 27 when that fucking
What a
happened.
nightmare, dude.
And the cops like, sorry, I know it's gonna be legal soon. 10 years ago.
10 years
Cop
later,
said
right?
this. Yeah, 10 fucking years ago. But we got to do what we got to do. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but I failed the drug test, obviously. And then I failed another one like after that. So like they made me go to like this probation office like one time, and that's when I gave him the P test or the swab or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck happened, but I just paid my fine, and I never had to go back to like probation or whatever. Like, I don't even know what the hell was up with that. It was just weird. The whole situation was weird, but
Yeah, better just put it behind you and fucking forget about all that shit. Meanwhile, we're potentially a month away from that never happening to anybody again over here.
yeah, man, and
Which is
maybe
exciting.
even getting that fucking shit taken off of my record. I mean, not
Yeah,
that
there
it
you go.
matters, but I mean, still, the fact that I
Is
was
there a fucking? I mean, does it work like? I don't know. I don't know if it works like that. Right? 10 years ago.
yeah, I don't even know. I think
If it was
it's
a
actually
misdemeanor-
gone still.
Yeah, if it was a misdemeanor and it was like a decade ago, I think you might be alright.
Yeah, I think I'm gone, but like, or good, but like, if it was like a worse charge, people are still fucked, and that's the ones that they're talking about, like trying to go back and
Yank some
get
people,
out of jail and put,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Restoration
a fucking nightmare.
and shit, man. It is fucked up, dude. The whole fucking, like, you know the deal. Like, I hear Rogan talk about it fucking 50 million times. Like, the reason why it became illegal and
William
Why-
Randolph Hearst
yeah.
and the fucking propaganda. Yeah, it's
like,
it's pretty douche. It's like 100 years ago. We're still dealing with that shit.
yeah.
The fuck are you gonna do?
But you know what? I think the thing that we need to do is still go get our medical card, because out in California, the medical weed is like stronger than the fucking recreational
Man,
shit. Yeah,
I don't need that strong shit. That strong shit
Oh.
is too fucking much for me, bro. I remember talking to my buddy, and he was just like, "Yeah, I could get you some shit," and I was like, "That's cool." And he goes, "It's really good, dude. Like crazy good." I looked at him like, I don't need that, man.
I know.
I
I
don't
get
need-
fucked
I
up
just-
off of some dirt,
Yeah,
dude.
I just need some real basic shit. It's like an oral fixation at this point. I don't even smoke cigarettes. It's just like it's almost like that for me, you know, just to have something. But you know, that I don't like that shit where you smoke it and it closes your fucking lungs up and you feel like you're dying and you're coughing and you're gonna shit your pants. Like
You
oh,
just
and you're
gotta
fucking
take smaller
sweating.
hits. That's all.
Oh my god! I don't want I don't want to be worried about the size of the hit that I'm taking. I just want to
Yeah.
breathe in deep and then breathe out and go, well, would you look at that? I'm high. I don't want to fucking. The walls are closing in around me. My face is red. I'm sweating. I'm gonna crap my pants. Like,
Dude, that's exactly the feeling I had. I went to last year when Joey and Dean Del Rey were at Gotham in New York. I fucking went up there with my girlfriend, and we went and we went back into the green room, and Joey's like, you know, Dean doesn't smoke, so like, and neither did my
Okay.
girlfriend at the time. She was like, no, I'm not gonna smoke. So it was just the four of us in there, dude. And this was the first time I fucking sat there and smoked a joint with Joey. And then
that's fucking amazing.
yeah, dude, it was surreal. And after that was even more surreal because before
Because of how high you were.
but yeah. Well, he dropped. He's like, I think it's down there on the floor. I was like, what? And he gave me a bag of when they had the purple stars of death,
Oh
the
shit.
200 milligram ones.
Oh shit.
And I was like, really? This is for me? 3 of them? I was like, fucking A. And
So
I
he
knew,
gave you the purple stars of death. That's fucking. It
Yeah.
doesn't get realer than that.
dude, the past like 2 or 3 times, not the last time, but like that time and the time before, he brought like a couple red ones and just had them in like a plastic bag for me. And I was like, oh, this is the shit. But anyway, he handed me the bag and I ate one right away. And I don't really do edibles that much.
Are you supposed
especially-
to eat the whole thing?
Well, probably not, but like I was like, fuck it, man. I'm the fucking church graphic artist. What am I gonna fucking do?
Yeah,
fucking
shit.
take a fucking little nibble off of the star in front of Joey
Nah.
Diaz? Like,
Fuck you. We're going to another planet.
fuck
Let's
yeah.
do this shit.
Yeah, I'm not Owen Benjamin. Get the fuck out of here. So I fucking ate the whole thing, and we smoked that joint, and then that was in between, because we got there. We were supposed to see the early show, and took the train to get up there from where we were in Trent. I don't know. We were late, and I messaged Joe. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. He's like, still come. You know, we might be able to get you a seat. So we still came, and we hung out in between the shows, and then we actually had seats and shit. But dude, when we went into the fucking room and Dean took the stage, me and my girlfriend sat down in the crowd, and I was just feeling that, like, I was like,
just vibrating.
The whole, like, my peripheral, like, my vision just kind of closed in right on Dean, and I was just like sitting in my chair, like, kind of hugging myself with one arm, you know. I didn't even take my coat off. My girlfriend's sitting there, like, right next to me, like, you want to hold my hand or, like, you know, something? Like,
I'm busy holding myself.
I'm like, I need to keep it together right now. I'm sorry.
I feel like it doesn't matter what Joey Diaz hands you, you just do it out of fucking respect.
Well, I mean, yeah. For me, I would definitely do it because
absolutely.
I don't know. I think I even though Lee smokes a lot with him and shit, and, like, you know, they both laid off the fucking edibles, like, tremendously recently.
Yeah, recently,
anyway.
yeah.
But like when they were going in on it, I'm sure, like, I would not be able to do 2,000 milligrams like that. But, like, me doing, like, the amount of shit that I smoke now by myself, me taking that 200 milligram one, I was fucked up, but I wasn't, like, so like, I could definitely have taken more, I feel like.
Yeah,
but some people are like, I can't even take a fucking little star, like the edge, you know?
Fucking pussies.
Yeah, like, what is going on with you?
See, that's the thing, right? It's like you could take however many 2,000 milligrams, whatever. You can take it. It's just what's gonna happen to you, which is purely gonna be, like, psychological, except for some responses, like maybe puking or, you know, some shit like that. But that's kind of still you can still psych yourself out into puking. But, you know, I went camping, and my buddy bought a bunch of edibles, and, you know, we started eating them or whatever, and at some point it was just so late and it was cold, and we had been drinking and eating a bunch of food. I was fucking tired, so I went back to my tent, and I still don't know what happened this day. I don't know if it was cold and I forgot because of how high I was to put on, like, a sweater and sweatpants, or if it was just the edibles. Because what happened is I woke up at like 4 a.m, just like I'm talking straight up convulsing. Like, I didn't feel any pain or anything, but my whole body was just it wasn't even vibrating.
Shaking?
I was, dude, shaking like crazy, like spazzing out. And my wife actually grabs me and she's going, "What's going on?" And I feel fine, except I don't have control of my body.
It's like a seizure, right?
Yeah, but I felt like totally fine. But I was just shaking really, really, really aggressively. And I don't know, dude. I think what happened was the temperature dropped so much, and I didn't account for that, so I didn't wear, like, the proper shit. So I actually got incredibly cold, but being on another planet from eating so many edibles, I just, like, fucking blew it out of proportion and was shaking crazy hard. But I do know that the very next morning we wake up and, you know, so some of our friends have edibles, and as we're, like, you know, starting a fire, making coffee, all that shit, she's just like, "I gotta go." And we're like, "What?" And her boyfriend's like, "Yeah, we gotta go." And we're like, "Why would you leave? You just got here, like, late last night, and you only stayed And they're like, "You know, we just gotta go. We gotta go." We find out later on that she was having a full-blown panic attack from the edibles. And her response to it was like, "I've got to leave." Meanwhile, you know, it's a 3-hour drive to this campsite, dude. They just drove 3 hours all the way down here, went to sleep because that's how late they got there, woke up the next morning, ate some edibles, had a panic attack, and drove 3 hours home. Like, it was a fucking worse shit. So I guess, you know, some people can't handle it, but I don't think I've ever eaten enough that I've been fucking scared or anything. You know,
dude, no. It was weird. Like, I got on the train to come home, and it was, I don't know if you ever taken like a pain pill, like a Percocet or something like that, but it was like that kind of, like, warm fuzzy feeling that you get from, like, something like that. Like, I fucking fucked up my ankles one time. I was prescribed them shits. not good.
Yeah,
But
I've only ever had them on an empty stomach, which apparently is not the way to do
oh
it.
no, you
And
gotta
I
eat.
felt so fucking terrible. I like never touched him again. But then I heard it was just because I didn't eat anything. I had
Yeah,
just gotten like a root canal, and I fucking should have ate some shit. But what are you
yeah.
gonna do? It
Well,
was
they tell you don't
terrible,
eat
dude.
anything. Wait a
Dude,
little.
yeah, exactly. They're like, don't fucking eat anything when you before you come in for the operation or whatever, and then afterwards you give you fucking Percocets, and they didn't tell me I had to eat with that. Dude, I felt terrible. I felt like puking, but there was nothing to puke, so I just fucking dry heaved for a while and called it a day.
Yeah, that's how. There's like Percocet, and then a generic like not oxycontin, but
Codon,
oxycontin.
oxycodone.
Yeah, those fuckers make me feel like nauseous. But if you
Yeah,
take the real shit on a, you just eat, you're good. And it gives you that
actually eat
weird
a fucking
fucking
meal.
fuzzy feeling, dude.
Yeah, the first time I did them, I actually made edibles in my apartment, which was a mistake because it was in an apartment and the whole fucking building smelled like weed. And
That's where I did
we
it
made,
first. Fuck 'em.
yeah, dude, it was a nightmare. We were so fucking paranoid after that. Everybody that walked past the door, I was looking at the peephole like, here they come, motherfuckers, get ready. But, so we made the, weed butter and we made brownies and cookies with it, and then took them all with us. We didn't know how many you're supposed to eat. And I forget what we put. We put like an ounce into the butter, and
Holy
I made
shit.
yeah, it was crazy. So we take all these brownies and cookies we made. We hop on the train. We go to the Bronx Zoo, right? I don't know how old I am. I think I'm maybe like 20. We go to the Bronx Zoo, and as we're on the way there, we just start downing them, eating like multiple brownies. You're only supposed to have like a fraction of a brownie. Now I understand that. Back in the day, we just ate like several, like you would eat a fucking cookie or a brownie.
Yeah.
I had like 3 cookies and a couple brownies, whatever. Dude, holy shit. I stared at the fucking monkeys for like, I mean, we all stared at the monkeys for, I don't know, like, I think like maybe good 2 hours. Like, groups kept coming and going, but here are these 3 high ass 20-year-olds just holding onto the railing, looking at them like they were the most interesting thing. I kept going to my boy and being like, look at the way they use their tails as arms, dog. And he was like, yeah, you just fucking told me that. And like 5 minutes later, I'd be like, yo, look at that one. Look at that one. You see the way he's using his tail as like an arm? And he's like, yeah, dude, no, for sure. I see that shit. We were fucked up, man. I just out of our fucking, I swear to God, we even had a psychic moment there where I was singing the theme song to Spider-Man in my head. I swear to God, bro. I was so high. I'm sitting on a bench singing Spider-Man in my head. And all of a sudden, my boy looks at me and goes, Spider-Man, Spider-Man does what? And then I stopped him and I was like, yo, did you just read my thoughts? And he was like, nah, you were singing that shit out loud. And I was like, no, the fuck I wasn't, bro.
Yeah, you were.
So I don't know what happened. I might have been singing that shit out loud.
Yeah, I think you probably were.
But yeah, man, that was the first time I ever did them. I ate like, I don't know, a total of 5 or 6 altogether and just went to another fucking planet. But they're interesting, man. They're interesting because they're like psychedelic.
Yeah, when you eat them, it's fucking different experience, man.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun. It's all in good fun, and I hope that hope Phil Murphy fucking really does do this. That'd be fucking sweet to get.
Phil Murphy, that's his name. Yeah,
Yeah, Phil. Good old
Phil.
Tony Phil. Well,
Philip.
but get some recreational weed on the 29th, and we get fucking Uncle Joey on Netflix on the 30th.
Yeah,
Fucking holiday, man.
the holiday. All right, brother. Well, I got to get out of here. I got a early start in the morning, 4 a.m.
Oh shit, I know all about that, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, dude, thank you very much for fucking taking the time, man. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on. It was awesome.
And everybody can find you where I belong on Instagram.
Yeah, where I belong on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and my email is on there in case anybody wants to email me for whatever fucking reason you would do that. I don't know.
You gotta
slide
email
into
them to say hi, man. Like, what's up,
Yeah, that's
dude?
it.
Let's go
Keep
hang
it
out and get some
professional.
coffee.
Yeah, I like emails. We keep it professional.
Fresh. All right, brother. Well, thank you very much, and I'll tag you. I'm gonna try and get this up for tomorrow morning.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
You too.
Bye.